welcome back to Homestead Corner. I'm Ginny, and today I wanted to talk about 10 preparedness items that we should be buying every single month. So, as most of you know that have been around for a while, I am a list person. I love my lists. I think they are wonderful. I forget so many things that I think lists are really important. If it's not written down in the date book or on a list, it's not happening in my world. So I think lists are super important. And today I have a list of 10 preparedness items that I think we should be buying every month. So I don't mean buy bulk supply every single month. You know, if you buy 10 at a time and put them away and you're not using them, you don't need to buy that every single month. I'm talking 1 here, 2 there, 3 here, you know, depending on the item, depending on how much you use something also. So, you know, you can definitely build a huge stockpile just a little bit at a time. We have been doing this for a long time, and we don't spend big giant chunks of money at a time, and we usually don't buy 100 of something at a time either. You know, we'll buy a few extra and put those away. If I use 5 in a month, I might buy, you know, 7 or 8 of them and then just have a couple to put away. And that way it builds up your supply over time. And these are things, you know, we just keep working at them little by little, and that pile builds up pretty quickly. So the first thing I think that we should all be buying every month is soap. All kinds of soap, not just one kind. Bar soap, liquid soap, laundry soap, dish soap, all the soaps that you use. A little bit extra, you may buy extra bar soap 1 month, you might buy extra dish soap another month. So, but building on that supply all the time, soap is a very good one to have on hand, and a lot of it is not going to go bad. Again, we always keep our stock rotated, so we are sure things do not go bad. The second item that I think we should be buying every month is first aid supplies, whether it be ibuprofen or bandages or ACE wraps, ankle supports, all of those type of first aid supplies. We should be working on building that every single month and putting something in there, a couple of things in there if you can, maybe a box of bandages and a roll of gauze, or you know, some antibiotic cream and some ibuprofen. But just keep building at that. First aid is something that we all use at home. We use bandages, we use antibiotic cream, we use ibuprofen. So keeping that going and making sure that we're getting a little bit extra to put away so we have it when an emergency really happens. We want to have that extra stuff. The third thing that I think we should be buying every month is books. I think books are so important, whether it's how-to books, medical books, reference books, or even entertainment books. I like to buy those little word search books. I like those. For some quiet time, it just relaxes me to sit and do that sometimes in the evening when I am stressed out, or in a emergency situation. You may want to have a few books on the shelves, just, you know, fantasy novel type books, something like that, just to take your mind off of everything that is going on. And a lot of people like to make sure they have a Bible handy, because that can also help you in a stressful time when you have that to fall back on, or whatever it is that you use that really helps you draw strength from. Those are important things for your preps to have on hand, definitely. Number 4, seeds. As soon as seeds are available at the beginning of the year, I start buying seeds, and I buy seeds at least every month until they're no longer available in the stores. Usually there's a couple of months, you know, December. You usually see some scragglers at the end of the year. So November, December, January, usually February, March, they start coming out. So there's a few months I take off on seed buying. Sometimes I put orders in online if I see a good sale, because a lot of times in December or January, they may have really good sales on seeds, some of the seed companies. So we check then too. And you never know. Whenever you can get the best deal is when I buy. And I grab a little bit here and there. I'll see something different that I want to try, or something that I want to have more of. So having those seeds are so important. Number 5 is food. We should be buying food every month. Absolutely. Long-term foods, I really think keeping at those long-term foods, your rice, your oats, your honey, those things that are going to last really, really long term. And also open and eat foods, cans of soup, SpaghettiOs, whatever it is that you like, that you can just open and eat in a quick emergency. Those are wonderful. We never know when the power is going to go out or something like that, and we're going to need to eat something. You know, I have been cooking a meal and the power shuts down. So I have to make arrangements to get that cooked another way. Or if haven't quite started it yet, and I may not have another option prepared at the moment, like today it's 100 degrees. If I hadn't started cooking something and the power went out, I definitely wouldn't be starting the wood stove to cook. It is so hot. Stay cool, everybody, and stay hydrated. The number 6 is water. We should have a good supply of water. You should always be buying water. Rotate that water out so it doesn't sit for too long in there. Water's going to last though. Cool, dark, and dry. You know, well, water's wet, but in a dry area, that water is not going to go bad. It's when you get it exposed to those extreme temperatures, or when you have it in the sunlight, it's going to grow algae in it. Can't help it unless you have chlorinated water. And but I have been seeing, because it has been so hot and dry here in Maine, and I know across the country, there are droughts everywhere. People are starting to see their wells dry up this time of year right now. I've seen a few different articles on it here locally in Maine, that how to tell if your well is going dry, and people are starting to see that. So that is a good reason to keep water on hand. Another really good reason, I have seen more and more articles, and one just this morning on contaminated water here in Maine. I can't remember which city it was in, but it was like, do not drink the water until notified, in the certain city in Maine. So remembering that this can happen at any time. If the water supply is contaminated, the water shuts down, wells dry up. We need to have a good water supply always on hand. So water, always. You can only go 3 days without water. You really do need it. Number 7, ammo. We should be stocking up on ammunition constantly, I think. Because we should be practicing with if you have a weapon, if you have a bow and arrow, a gun, or whatever it is that you have, I think we should be practicing with them so we're comfortable with them and we can use them in times of emergencies. So whether you are stocking up on ammo for guns or for bow and arrow, or whatever your weapon of choice is, making sure that you have plenty of ammo on hand is super important. We don't know where this country is going, and there are all kinds of crazy indicators that something can go really awry at any moment. So being prepared for that is really important. I think ammo is a big one, and a lot of people think, oh, I bought this many rounds, I'm good. I don't think you can have too much, honestly. You can't have too much ammo. There's just no way to have too much. All right, number 8. Ooh, I almost missed one. Number 8, paper, pens, pencils, stuff like that. Writing things down can be really important. I forget a lot of stuff all the time on a regular basis. So I love to write things down. I love ideas I have. I write down maybe a thought I had about something or different kinds of things like that. Writing lists, your grocery list, keeping inventory, anything like that. Paper and pencil and pens are also really important for entertainment. If the electricity goes down, a simple piece of paper and a pencil, you can play hangman with the kids to entertain them. There are lots of things that you may want to use it for. You can draw, you can all kinds of stuff. Definitely something that is really, really important. And right now with the back to school sales, now is a great time to stock up if you don't have a decent supply. Last month, I saw notebooks for, I didn't see anything cheaper than $1 for a spiral bound notebook. And right now, a lot of your stores are having back to school sales, and they have notebooks for 35 cents, 45 cents, 50 cents, things like that. Snap up some extra ones right now. And we always are putting back pens and things like that, and when I find a deal on notebooks. But when back to school sales happen, I try to get a little bit extra. I might take just $10 and buy notebooks and pencils and pens right at back to school time. And then maybe, you know, the next couple of months I might buy a Sharpie here, or, you know, crayons or something. But those pens, pencils, and paper right now are super cheap. So I like to stock up on those while they're having the back to school sale, because you get a lot more. All right, number 9, canning jars, lids, rings, things of that nature. Even if you're not a canner, in a long-term situation, you may have to can some food. You may use it for dry storage. You might put, you know, your dehydrated things in there, or dried herbs, or just flour and pasta, just things to stock up on. They are great for that. They can be vacuum sealed. And, you know, they also, in a long-term situation, you may have to can food, and you may not think about it right now, but just a pot, a regular stock pot, something deep that's deeper than your jars, you can use for a water bath canner. One of those round cake racks, a lot of times, if you can get it one to fit in there, you have a water bath canner. All it has to be is a pot with something to keep the jars off the bottom. That's all it has to be. And I know in the United States, the USDA recommends pressure canning, but many, many countries they don't have access to that. So they water bath everything. And there are lots of videos out there about that. So, you know, if you have to, you have to. You got to do what you got to do, especially in a long-term emergency. You got to take care of your family, whether it's USDA approved or not. And number 10, household paper products. That's something that we don't use we use toilet paper. That's one of the things you should stock up on every month. But like paper plates, paper bowls, paper cups, plasticware. We don't use that all the time, but I like to keep a decent supply in the house for emergencies. If the well goes dry or the water's contaminated and I am limited on washing dishes or having fresh water in the house, I want to make the least dishes possible, because it takes a lot of water to wash and rinse and all that with your dishes. So the less dishes you have to wash, the better. So in those situations, I will use, you know, the paper plates, whatever we have, paper bowls. I put sandwiches on paper towels sometimes because I don't want to wash dishes. But having those things, I think, are important. Not that you use them every day. I know a lot of people do use them all the time, because why wash dishes if you don't have to? But we don't usually use them every day, but I do think they're super important, especially in those emergencies. And I even keep the special hot cups for my coffee, because you got to have coffee in an emergency. No matter what, you got to have coffee. And so having all of those household paper products on hand just in case, I think. So getting a little bit of that, maybe paper plates this month, maybe plastic silverware next month, or paper bowls or paper cups, you know, one thing at a time here and there. It really adds up and it will give you a decent supply. And for a bonus item, I buy fire starters every single month. Matches and lighters. Maybe I'm a pyro, you know, but matches and lighters, you got to have a way to start a fire if you have to, whether to cook or if you need to heat your home or whatever. Having the ability to start a fire is really important. So there are making sure you have plenty of that. I am always buying it. You guys, if you see my Dollar Tree hauls, you know, matches, lighters, fire. I can't help myself. But that is it for my 10 preparedness items that you should be buying every single month. And I don't mean, you know, buy all of it every month, but buy some of it, you know, maybe paper plates and Advil and, you know, whatever it is that you can, and bandages or something, you know, try to pick an item from each thing. Each month we try to make sure that we have a well-rounded supply of everything, just in case if the store shut down tomorrow, we'll be okay. And it would be all right. We would make it. Wouldn't be fun, but we would make it. And having those supplies will help you in those crazy times when you just never know what is going to happen. And that's it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.